Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Week one was a lot of fun, a lot of crazy games. It was, so many close games and comebacks. It was a really, really fun week one. We got a lot to talk about. Of course, we got to talk about our teams. But first, how's it going, Lance? How do you feel after week one and football is back?
Andrew was amazing. So much good football this past week,
Yeah.
basically. Um, it's just so nice. There's nothing better than NFL football. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Quality's great.
Mm-hmm.
Started with W for both our teams. So I mean, we got to take a moment to celebrate the fact that our teams are 1-0.
Yeah, and it was almost poetic because the week one started with the Eagles, ended with the Vikings. I mean, what better could you ask for?
Yeah. I mean, and that JJ McCarthy comeback, that was
Hmm.
great. So
And we'll get to it, but in a way, it was almost better than the Bills comeback because you didn't expect it. You knew the Bills were going to go away. But anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. I
mhm.
think we should start in the order of how they played. I think we should start with the Eagles Cowboys game because that's how the week one started. So I think that's where we should kick it off.
Well, I think that we probably have to spend at least a little time on Slivagate, right? Uh,
Salivagate. Yep.
I have heard Spitgate, Slivagate.
Hmm.
I can't remember the other ones I've heard, but wow, what a weird way to start a game. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, when we lost Ben Van Sumeren, our fullback, I was like, well, that's a terrible way to start the season. And then a flag ends up on the field, and number 98, Jalen Carter, gets ejected, and it's like, wait, what? Um, yeah, I don't know if you seen those memes about Star Wars with Han Solo shot first, like those Joko memes. I feel like that kind of what it turned into afterwards, where Dak spit first. Um, which, by the way, for the record, I do think he did try to goad him into spitting. Um, I don't know. That
Yeah, I could see where you come from on that. There was a little bit of taunting, a little bit of, well, what are you gonna do, Jalen, kind of thing.
it felt like
Yeah.
he was goading. Also, the other part is like if you ever want to spit, I feel like you would go to the ground. I feel like it's weird to like literally Dak try to lift himself over his extremely tall lineman's shoulder. But the bottom line is that Jalen's got to be smarter, man. That was just
Hmm.
boneheaded at its finest. It was really, 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 really dumb. Hurt the Eagles big time. Um,
Yeah.
it was really, really bad. One thing I was going to say is, as a result of it, that was interesting. I did not think Justin or Jordan Davis had a good first game. Um,
Yeah.
but it was interesting. The breakdown has been mostly receptive. He did have 6 tackles, 3 solo tackles. He had 1 pass breakup and 1 QB hit. And that's not bad. I think the
It's
part
not
I was
terrible.
probably I think the part I was disappointed in is I felt like there were some run plays where he like disappeared.
Mm.
So it's interesting. I don't know as far as where he was at. He was 87% of team snaps. I think that Moro Ojamo, sorry, they keep changing the way they pronounce his name on the Eagles website, so I always get it mixed up. But um, it was okay. Uh, who I really tip my hat to in this game though is Vic Fangio. You give up 21 points in the first half and come out in the second half and completely change your game plan and how you're going to approach the Cowboys and give up 0 points. That's the sign of an excellent defensive coordinator. Because I mean, just how unfortunate. You have a game plan. Your best chip, your best player is not out there for any of the
Yeah.
snaps. Um, just such a boneheaded decision. Um, I personally was hoping that there was going to be some type of additional suspension. Part of me is glad because we're facing the Chiefs next week, but part of me thinks, no, I want more. I want him to face an additional penalty or fine because this is just,
Yeah.
it's absurd, man. Like it just, um, I think the one thing I'll take away was Fangio, gotta give him his flowers. Wonderful job, did a great job. cornerbacks, wow, what an issue that is looking like that's going to be. Um, we got to figure out CB2. If Adoree Jackson is our cornerback for the year, just like we had talked about previously, I thought there might be problems.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's going to be problems. Also,
Your
this was
concerns were
interesting.
true.
I, why did they put him on CD Lamb? Like that was the part I was like, you're just asking for him to lose. I mean, CD's way better than Adoree Jackson is. I would have rather have Quinion Mitchell travel the field, take Lamb out of the game. I mean, Pickens is good, but Pickens isn't Lamb. Um,
Right.
I mean, I was surprised by that choice. So try to think if there's any other defensive things I noticed in the game. Drew Makuba played at safety. I thought,
He made some plays. He made some plays. He looked like a rookie. He was out of position a couple
yeah,
times, but he made some plays. He had some flashes, and that's what you want out of a rookie defender.
yeah.
Like, let me see something, and he showed a couple things. Yeah, he looked the part.
Well, I think the other thing too is as long as you're in the zip code, I think people are okay. They can be like, okay, you know what? He just got off a position, but he was in the zip code. Whereas the
Right.
part that was frustrating about Adoree Jackson is there are times he was just like, it felt like, Lamb is in Miami, he's in Alaska. Like, what's going on here? How are you that out of position?
Hmm.
And it turned into a huge game. Um, one person brought it up, and I thought it was funny. I didn't realize it was Miles Sanders broke off a huge run during the game, and Zach Bond literally did the Superman run in order to tackle him down at like the 10-yard line. But
Hmm.
someone highlighted that
Almost
Adoree
made him
Jackson.
fumble too.
Yeah,
Almost made him fumble too. I was
well,
close.
hey, we got there. We got there a couple plays later. So
Yep.
always work for the football. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe that someone showed a highlight of like Adoree Jackson like almost giving up. It did not look good. It looked like he was like, "Oh, offensive linemen are coming my way. I'll just kind of like fall down." That was kind of the way that I looked at the angle. And
Hmm.
you got to fight for every yard, and you got to help out every single way. Everybody has to be a part of that process. And we'll get to Isaiah Rogers. Can't wait to talk about him for your game because that I think there's some good things to take away there. But CB2 is a really big problem. Linebacker is a strength. John Campbell and Zach Bond together.
Oh yeah. That might be your strongest portion of your defense. I mean, your D line is still legit, but that linebacking core Eagles have, I
Yeah,
think I might put it above the D line right now.
yeah. So yeah, I mean I think it's worked out well for them with the way that comes. The part I'm curious about is Nakobe Dean. He's going to come back at some point. What is that going to look like?
Hmm.
Um, kind of a hot take for me, but I think they're going to trade him. I think they're
Oh,
going to
okay.
find there's not room for him. Let's give Nakobe a chance to go somewhere else.
Roseman's been busy. He has been busy wheeling and dealing,
Uh,
so I
yeah,
wouldn't be shocked.
it's been crazy. But we definitely need to cover the moves. But I want to make sure we have enough time for the Vikings game as well. So maybe we'll cover that in a later episode. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I want to flip this to the offensive side of the ball real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, I want to give him major props. A
For
comment I've
sure.
consistently heard from reporters, journalists, is this was the most comfortable game they've seen Jalen play in a long time. That was like a regular season
Yeah.
matchup.
Yeah.
In control, decisive. Um, I really, Andrew, can't think of one time that he made a bad throw. I just,
Or a bad decision overall. Yeah.
yeah. Someone was faulting where he went with the football. Here's the thing: if you get positive yards, if the ball's moving forward, I will never fault you for taking option B over option A.
Hmm.
Because someone was saying that AJ Brown was open on a seam. Maybe he was. I, I think that's hard to say. And then also in this game, where like the thing that Jalen's probably thinking about is we have to score every time. Our defense is struggling so much, we cannot leave the
Yeah.
field. We have to get points. Like that first drive where Jalen Carter goes out and the Cowboys almost instantly go down to the field. Javonte Williams runs it in for a touchdown. Um,
Hmm.
and maybe that's where I was disappointed with Jordan Davis, by the way, was these short yardage situations. and the Eagles had almost no resistance. I mean, there's so many third and twos, third and threes I can think of. The line just got no push.
Mhm.
And Davis has to help out with that. So I give him like a B minus game on that effort. But back to Jalen Hurts. Um, I was just really impressed by the fact they went 19 for 23. I mean, that I wish there was a stat that was like breaking down whether or not a quarterback had any bad throws. Because I feel like all
Mhm.
23 of those throws were smart. If they were incompletions, they were incompletions on purpose. There's a
Mhm.
couple times where he threw the ball just away to avoid a huge sack. So it's just masterful awareness in the pocket. Great job. 62 yards rushing. So, I mean, he had over 200 yards passing and rushing. Um, and
Yeah.
these touchdowns were big boy touchdowns. Like there
Oh,
was
for
one that was
sure.
like a 10-yard run, and he just
Hmm.
masterfully navigated his way to the end zone. So, great effort on his part. One other person from the game that I want to give appreciation to is Jahan Dotson. Um, he had a
He had a
great,
couple big time catches.
yeah,
Yeah.
he sure did. Um, but even like, a lot of people are talking about that 50, I think 1 yard catch, but there was one, I think it was like a third and three that he caught
Mhm.
and ended up getting a first down. I mean, just a clutch game. Oh, and Dallas Goedert had 7 receptions. I mean, the guy was a
He was
workhorse.
busy. He was busy.
Um,
Hmm.
I think that it's going to benefit the Eagles because my opinion was I felt like this is what the defense was doing. They were loading the box, bringing about 7 to 8 at least in the box to make it easier to stop Saquon Barkley runs, which they did really, really well at.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then,
he Saquon didn't have his normal breakaway. He got some gash plays here or there. I think he ended up like just under 60 yards or maybe just over 60 yards rushing in that
yeah,
range.
60 yards. Yep.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was completely shut down, but he didn't have those big explosions that he usually does. So props to the Cowboys.
Yeah. And I think that the big issue for the Eagles, and this is nothing against them, but Landon Dickerson he's hurt. He's not
You could
he's not
tell.
himself.
Yeah, you could tell. He was struggling
Yeah.
a little bit.
So worried about him. I mean, but here's the thing, especially for our teams, Andrew, week one, divisional win. It's like two
Hmm.
wins. I mean, really, it is like two wins because
Yeah.
having that extra game in division, actually 3 wins, because it's not just in division, it's not just a win, it's a conference win. So you're winning in
Hmm.
3 major categories that'll be a major tiebreaker towards the end of the season. Um,
Absolutely. And it
so
causes your division or your division co-team to take a loss too. So it's
yeah,
like a four-way thing.
yeah. So really proud of the team. They found a way to win, and that's what it comes down to. I'm so tired of people complaining about when their team wins, but not the way they want to. Listen, unless it's the 2023 Eagles and it's like 10 wins in a row where you're finding weird ways to win and then everything falls apart.
Hmm.
Like just take the wins, man. Take the wins. Be happy
Yeah,
your
and
team won.
week one's always strange.
Yeah,
Crazy things happen. Just take the W, learn from your mistakes, and move forward.
yeah. So those are my thoughts for the Eagles game. Don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to it.
Yeah, I think you hit them all really well. Cowboys fans are going to point to that big time CD Lamb drop. That second
Mm,
one where he dove for it, I don't really consider that a drop, so to speak. That was just a barely miss. Like I mean, he dove for a hard catch. But that one where he's streaking in the middle of the field where it was just right in his chest, that is a legit drop. He flat out dropped that pass. And of course, Cowboys fans are pointing to if we caught that, we win. Well, maybe he might not score there, and you guys are still down. I think they
yeah,
were down 3 points at that time, so you might have just tied, and the Eagles had time to go win. So I mean, anything could have happened, but that was a big time drop. C Lamb usually doesn't do that, so better days ahead for him. But I was overall impressed with the Cowboys. They played hard, they fought, they had a great game plan, and they just showed they don't have the talent on mainly on defense, and their offense looked good, offensive line looked good, but their defense just doesn't have enough.
yeah. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer did a great job. He
He
came to
did.
play and he did good. The part I'm just thinking about if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan is I'm mad that Micah Parsons is gone even more. Um,
Kenny Clark looked good. He looked solid
Yeah,
at defensive tackle. He had
yeah.
some good run stops and a couple pressures on Hurts. I think he even got a sack maybe. But just not Micah Parsons. It's just not Micah Parsons.
No sacks for him, but we can look up
Okay.
maybe not even QB hits. But they did get five QB hits, so they were definitely getting in Hurts's face. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I was overall more impressed with the Cowboys than I was down on the Eagles because you lose your best
mm,
defensive player. It's going to be a struggle on defense. And we kind of knew the cornerback room was, a little concerning and it just kind of showed in the game. But I was thinking, hey, the Cowboys, they look better than we thought. They're
yeah,
going to be competitive this year. They're not going to
yeah,
be an easy out in any game. So I think that's what I took away from it. Eagles
yeah,
figure out a way to win like they usually do, but the Cowboys, they impressed.
yeah. Agreed. Well, should we flip the script over to the Vikings game?
Yeah, that was like a tale of three quarters and one quarter. So it was crazy. So first of all, one keynote that not a lot of like main insiders talking about is Christian Darrisaw, our best offensive lineman, was out that game. He's coming back from his torn ACL that he had last year against the Rams, and he's been looking good in training camp, been practicing. He was almost like a game time kind of decision. It was up in the air, a coin flip, and they decided to sit him. And so we had our backup left tackle who you could tell he struggled a little bit. But I got to give props to the Bears. Dennis Allen, he is an underrated defensive coordinator. Not a good head coach, but as a D coordinator, that's where he thrives. And he had a great game plan up front. Like their front seven was causing havoc the whole first half. McCarthy was just kind of bottled the whole time. And there was a couple times where he got sacked, but he almost escaped. Like he ducked under the rush and he was running out, and then the like defensive lineman fell down and tripped him, and he just fell down and 2 yard sack. I was like, man, he was that close from escaping like two or three times. But the whole first half, where he completed like 1 for 5 passes or something like that, it was bad. I just kept thinking, man, they are so close. The run the offense in a good way. I liked what they were trying to do, and they were like an inch or like a foot away from either completing a pass or McCarthy escaping or getting a first down. They just didn't quite get it. They had a couple drops here or there. Adam Thielen dropped a pass. Jefferson dropped a pass that usually doesn't drop. It looked like a week one game. Just they weren't quite in sync, not quite in chemistry and in rhythm. And that's just how it went that first half. Third down and medium, just didn't quite get it, couldn't quite continue that drive and a punt. But also got to give props to the defense. They had that first drive, the Bears marched down the field. They looked good. It was all scripted plays. Caleb Williams, man, he is hard to tackle. He is
Yeah,
very evasive. The the Vikings had a total of 30 pressures on him. 30 and only 2 sacks. And one of them was just he happened to step out of bounds. So only an actual one time where he tackled him behind the line of scrimmage. He probably could have got sacked 10 times, but he avoided him every single time. It was very frustrating. I was messaging some people. I think it was you. I was thinking, man, our defense is looking good, but they just haven't made a play. Like they're not getting burned, they're not getting scorched. The Bears marched down the field, scored on that Caleb Williams scramble. They looked fine, but they just weren't making that play that they normally make. And that's what we needed because the offense just was just not in rhythm. And
hmm,
so many McCarthy haters, so many people like Colin Coward, they were putting on social in the third quarter, like it might not be it. He might not be the guy. And then the key moment for McCarthy personally was that pick six. So start of the third quarter, we get a three and out. Our defense shows up. They make a couple plays. I'm like, okay, defense is looking good now. We get the ball back on a punt, and I got to give props to our punt returner, Miles Price. He had some good returns. He was averaging like 15 yards a return, which is double what we got last year. That's a huge, getting double the return from last year We were like one of the worst return teams in the league last year. If we're getting 15 in return, that's average, and we love that. So just give him props. He's an undrafted rookie. That was just awesome to see. But we get a good return, get the ball like right around midfield, start making the plays, march down the field, and it's like a 3rd and 2. And 3rd and 2 is not bad, but Dennis Allen got to give him credit. He calls like a zero blitz, bringing the house, and McCarthy has like not a lot of time. And the whole first half, you can tell that his processing wasn't the quickest. He wasn't overwhelmed like everyone was saying. He wasn't. He was poised. He was doing the right thing. He just wasn't processing quick enough, which is expected. Your first NFL start against a good defensive coordinator. Um, but that particular play on 3rd and 2, he didn't quite process enough that the corner was cheating up a little bit, and he saw pressure. He flung it to his main guy Jefferson, and I think it was I forgot his name, but the corner, I think it was number 29, jumped the route. It was a little corner route, picked it off, ran it 74 yards for a touchdown. The Bears fans are going crazy. People on social media were hating on McCarthy. And that was the turning point. We get the ball back. McCarthy's a different man. KOC's doing what he can do. Got to give credit to the coaching staff. The first half, the coaching wasn't great, but that fourth quarter was just pristine coaching. Pristine. And honestly, with the Bears, it was bad coaching. And we'll get to that on that kickoff. But we marched down the field. He hits, I mean, McCarthy does need to learn how to take some zip off his ball because he has too much zip sometimes. But he threw a laser to Jefferson in the end zone to get us finally on the scoring board, get us 7 points. So I think at that point we're down, what was it, 19-7, something like that. It was something like that, or 18-7. I'm not sure. We were down 11 points at one point. Um, we were 17-6. It was 17-6. Then we
Yeah,
scored that touchdown.
17-6.
We go for
Hmm.
two. We don't get it. I wish we would have ran the ball there. I was thinking, come on, because they had like a false start or offsides to get us like an inch closer, and it was like 2 point conversion on the half-yard line. I was thinking, come on, we're running the ball well. Props to Jordan Mason. He looked great, great pickup. Aaron Jones was fine, but Jordan Mason was awesome. He was phenomenal. But we're on like the half-yard line, just running in with Jordan Mason. But they decided to do little screen, not a screen pass, but a little play action, throw it to the tight end. And Josh Oliver's a big guy. He's hard to tackle. Credit to the Bears corner. Took him down on the 1 yard line. Don't get the 2 point conversion. Defense goes back on the field. They get a stop. McCarthy gets the ball back, marches down the field, throws that dime to Aaron Jones in the corner, let him run to the end zone, get a touchdown. Then we get the 2 point conversion to Adam Thielen. We're down, what is it, 16-14, then 17-14. We're down 17-14. 3 point game. Defense get another stop. Defense is playing well pretty much the whole game. They gave up a touchdown, 3 points, and then a touchdown. That pick six, of course, isn't against them. So they really only gave up like 17 points. And then we get the ball back, march down the field, and then probably the play of the game is a read option call from KOC that defense wasn't expecting. And McCarthy just bends around, and it looks like he's going to run out of the bounds, but he's like, no. He dives forward through a blocker, through a defender, and scores that rushing touchdown. And to see his emotion and the team around him rallying and just going crazy, and the coach, like KOC, it showed like a little shot of KOC. He was going nuts as well. That was awesome to see. And then give props to the Bears. They didn't go away. They didn't go away. They marched down the field really
Hmm.
quickly, score that touchdown to make it a 3 point game. But then, with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, with one timeout, what would you do on a kickoff? Kick that ball out of bounds. Even if you get a
Yeah.
flag to get the ball on the 40, that's huge to get a timeout. But instead, with a kicker that is known for not having the strongest leg, he's accurate normally. He did miss a 50-yard field goal, which was huge. But the guy with not the strongest leg, they try to kick it through the end zone, and it just lands kind of in the middle. And then the camera showed a great glimpse of Ty Chandler who caught the kick. He looks to the sidelines, and KOC's doing this the whole time. Come out, come on out, come on out. And sure enough, he comes out. He only gets like the 20, 22-yard line, but it drops the clock down to 158, 2-minute warning gone. And when that happened, I knew that's pretty much the ball game. Even if we don't get a first down, it's fine because we're going to punt the ball, get them to like 12 seconds, which happened. They had like 10, 12 seconds left, and it wasn't enough time. They tried some kind of hook and ladder play, which that never works. So props to the coaching staff. They had a phenomenal fourth quarter coaching, and the Bears
Mm,
coaching staff looked like last year. I mean, I know Ben Johnson's first game, got to give him some time, but it looked like last year. They made terrible coaching decisions in fourth quarter games all year last year. So it's kind of more of the same for the Bears. Kind of feel bad for them because it was a good game. They should have won it. They had a great game plan the first three quarters, and the fourth quarter they
mm,
just folded. But love how McCarthy played, and then I watched his like locker room speech after that, and just seeing how much of a psycho he is for football. Because when he's doing like his interviews, reporters talking to him, he's calm, good demeanor, very professional. But on the football field, he's crazy.
mhm,
He is crazy. I mean,
mhm.
he's a basically a rookie. He's 22 years old. They're down 17 to 6 right after he threw that pick six. He goes out on the field with his huddle. He tells his teammates, "Where would you rather be?" That's leadership right there. A 22-year-old's like, "Okay, sorry guys. We'll try our best here." But he's like, "Where would you guys rather be?" Right here, right now. Let's go. Let's play. And just seeing him scream in the locker room after that win, I love seeing that emotion. It was awesome. We have a winner. He's gonna make some mistakes. That pick six was horrible. It's a throw that you never throw. He threw it. He
Mhm.
learned from it. He just had a short memory. Go back on the field, win the game. I mean, it's a crazy stat. He's like 63-3 as a career quarterback, high school, college, NFL, which he's not going to win every game in the NFL, of course, but he just wins. And he has great talent. Caleb Williams is a better talented quarterback, but mentally, it's just not there. And it's a mental game. And J.J. McCarthy has that in spades. He has leadership. He has that mentality. He's a winner. He just got to learn a little bit as far as mechanics, learning to make better decisions, better throws, taking some zip off. I mean, there was a throw to Jefferson where Jefferson was open. McCarthy threw the ball accurately, but he threw a laser that Jefferson just wasn't ready for and went right through his hands. That's just chemistry they got to build up. But I mean, he has a cannon for an arm, and he just got to learn to take a little bit off, put a little bit more touch on that bad boy, and then we got a real one.
By the way, his record is 64-3. That's
64
moved
and
him
three.
from
Okay.
moved him
Okay.
up
Yep.
one. So,
Hmm.
um, can I just mention one other thing, Andrew?
Yes.
Um, Isaiah Rogers is a legitimate number two cornerback. Um,
Yes. Yes. He didn't show like any big flashy plays, but he didn't get burned either. And that's what you
no,
want as your number two. And we're gonna have some flashy plays. We're gonna have some interceptions. The D line got 30 pressures on Caleb Williams against probably like a top six offensive line.
mm,
Give the Bears credit. They did a great job revamping the O line. Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman. They have great tackles, and they picked up, oh, I forgot the right guard is, like Jonah Johnson or something like that. They
mhm.
revamped that O line, and they look good. They look good. They gave Caleb Williams time, and we still got 30 pressures on him. I can't wait to see when they go against a bad O line, like, I don't know, the Bengals in week three. I feel bad for Joe Burrow week three because 30 pressures against a good O line. What are we going to do against a bad O line?
Well,
We're going to see.
and
We're going to see week three.
Javon Cooked Hargrave did not look cooked.
No, he did not. He got credited for two sacks. One just shot up the middle, took Caleb Williams down, and Jonathan Allen. Oh man, I feel so bad for him because he had Caleb Williams in his arms, but Caleb Williams being so good, so strong, so
Mhm.
evasive, he got out of that sack and escaped for a decent gain. But both of them showed up and showed out. And give credit to the run defense too. DeAndre Swift had a ton of carries, didn't do nothing with it.
Yeah, didn't go anywhere. No.
Caleb Williams got escaped some, which that's a
Mhm.
problem because we played Lamar Jackson this year, so we got to learn from this one. But DeAndre Swift nothing. Pass game
Yeah,
from Caleb Williams. He had a few passes, but didn't really do a whole lot. So
yeah.
defense looked great.
Well, it's all about getting the W, man. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
if you can get the win and learn and grow, that's all that matters. But really, really
Yep.
strong win by the Vikings, and it's individual. It's good in three ways: conference, division, and overall win. Just really
Hmm.
helps your chances in the playoffs and the NFC North, dude. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. Every
Yeah.
single game is going to matter in deciding who's going to win that division. And
Hmm.
you know, you're tied for first right now. You're tied for first with the Packers. So
Yep. And the
great place
Packers
to
play the
be.
Commanders tomorrow.
Hmm.
That's a big game for both
Sure is.
teams. Big
Sure is.
game. I'm not sure who I'm picking yet. I'll have to give it some thought because, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. So, well, man, it's awesome. Week one is in the books. We're well on our way. There's
Hmm.
still 17 or 16 more games to get to for each team. And I
Yep.
love this time of the year, man. Love it. It's the
It's the
best time
best.
of the year. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for this episode. We're going to try to start doing some shorter episodes, get some more content out there. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.